What's your morning routine? How do you get up? Are you a morning person or not? Do you snooze the alarm or do you get up on the first one? Do you like to get some stuff done in the morning before you go out the door? Or do you wake up as late as possible so you can get ready and get on the move? Welcome for the drive. Thanks for riding shotgun today. My name's Chuck. I am an educator with a new job this year and a new commute, and that's what this podcast comes from, is me trying to figure out what to do with all this extra time in the car. Today, I'm just thinking about my morning routine because it kind of came up with a coworker yesterday. So what do? I currently get up, it's about an hour and a half before I leave. There's lots of things I do in that time. The first thing I do is I wake up and start the coffee. Sometimes while that coffee is brewing, I wash dishes from the night before. Of all the things that have to get done in the house, dishes is definitely the thing I do the majority of the time. My wife will try to do a lot of dishes during the day if things pop up, but definitely as soon as I clock in at the door after work, I'm the dishes person. Emptying the dishwasher usually, refilling it, washing whatever's left over. So to help my wife start the day with a head start, if at all possible, I try to leave in the morning with instead of inbox 0, sink 0. So that whatever happens during the day is just, as far as dishes, just stuff that accumulated with all of the breakfast and lunch activities after I've left. So that's what I'll do first while the coffee's brewing. Is sometimes I'll wash dishes. Sometimes I will just catch up on the news at that point also. And then once the coffee has been poured, that's when I will sit down on the couch, preferably also with my best friend / wife, and that's when we will both do our Bible reading for the day. Wow. I almost had a wreck there in front of me, not myself. This person decided to exit the on-ramp and just go right around all of us just sitting here at a red light. Sorry. Alright, so the last several years, 5, 6, 7, 8, we have been reading through different versions of a whole year Bible plan, where you read through the Old Testament of the Bible and the New Testament twice, from January 1st to December 31st. We've been doing that for, I think this is at least the 8th year we've done that. And so that's how we start. She's I don't think she doesn't like to flaunt this, but I'm gonna brag about her anyway. This is her second year, I think, of actually reading 2 different plans. Maybe just the first year that she's doing that, but so she's actually going to read through the Bible entirely 2 times during this calendar year, because she has one that she likes to read that's called the Bible Recap, that has a podcast that goes with it also to help you just kind of digest what the reading was for the day. And then also this year, maybe this is the second year we've done this. Anyway, sorry. There is a Bible reading plan that about 40 of us from my church are doing throughout this year. We've got 2 more months of that. November starting tomorrow / today when you listen to this. So we do that, and she doubles up. She can actually read a lot faster than I do. I do not ever understand it. But we do that. We drink our coffee together. Sometimes during that time, we will talk about calendar for the day, what has to get done for the day. And when we were wordling, we used to wordle at that time. And at that time also. And then I get out the door currently by 7:15, so that I can get to school by 7:45. And if there's going to be any traffic, that I miss that. Then the first thing I do when I get to school is I'll check some email, and sometimes I'll do some grading before class. Other times I'll just do that during plan time. But I really prefer to not just walk right in when the kids are there, because that just stresses me out. And I've had to start that specifically, getting there well before the kids do this year, just because of traffic on my new commute. Like, just avoiding traffic has forced me to have to get there before, quote, contract time. But I think it's working out for me much, much better than what I've been able to do the last 6 years, which was just kind of rolling right as the kids were rolling in. And so typically for me, my first class is not ever my best as far as test scores, the way the lesson goes, the way the relationships go. And my 1A class this year, in a lot of respects, is the best of those. So that has been really interesting, and probably evidence of the fact that I should have been doing that for a lot longer. But what I used to do when I was younger, I always said that I wasn't a morning person. I would snooze as long as possible, to the fact that I would just kind of wake up and roll out of bed and say, here I am. One thing that really broke me of that in one respect was when we had kids. Our first kid, our current 8th grader, she did not sleep super well. And so in our getting ready for kids time, I had read that it was important as much as possible to give mom a break and help stay up with the kid as much as possible so she could get rest. And so that was one thing early on that I dedicated to doing, was taking the baby as much as possible. And I was able to feed our first kid, because my wife was working some still, and so she would take care of that during the day. And so we always had bottles in the fridge that I was able to do. And that really was the first thing that broke me from just not being able to function in the morning at all, to realizing that I could do things in the morning and become a morning person. And that's what unlocked my ability to wake up like an hour and a half before I have to, and get started in the morning. And this was the first time really ever that I would even envisioned that I could be a person that read the Bible in the morning. Even though I had a desire to do it, I just felt like it would not be physically possible for me. But that was one magical thing that happened when I had kids, was I realized that I didn't have to be that way, and I could do different. And that's been great. So yeah, that's my routine. I get up, make the coffee, read the Bible, make my lunch, get some news, and then I'm out the door, and then on to teach. What's your routine? What do you do? Thankfully, I don't have to worry about makeup, but I know that others of you listeners do. If you are a student, I'm wondering, do you do homework in the morning before school, or do you stay up late and do that also? Or if you are post-student, what did that look like for you? This recording is over now because I'm in the driveway, and the rules for the Drive Time Pod, if you're a new listener, is that it has to take place in the car during a drive. There's one episode I made an exception on that, but that's the rule. And so this drive is over. Thanks for riding shotgun today. Send me a message on Instagram at DriveTimeDiary or at Mr. C. Baker for Math, or you can find me on the X at Chuck C. Baker. We'll see you on the next drive. Stay safe.